This is Jason Schwartz. I am here speaking with Andrew Herold, Andy, but he is in West Virginia and he has a company called HydroStar. But he is, let him tell you. Hi, Andy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for taking the time to come on here with me. What I am hoping that we're going to be doing is little short blurbs from all the years you've been working at HydroStar. You created this company and you sell hydrogen machines that make HHO gas. What is HHO?
HHO gas is when you split water into molecules. So you have 33% oxygen, 66% hydrogen. And so for medical reasons, it only works if you split the water. If you use pure hydrogen that's done any other way, you don't get any medical benefits. It's only when you split it.
I see. So those little things that people see around that make hydrogen water, not that useful, right? They have
Well,
other
the
benefits.
the little ones you see that like the little old water carrier or whatever you see around the sinks, they make hydrogen, but a medical dose, according to the Japanese Ministry of Health, is 350 milligrams is the minimum dose. And some of those only do 200, 250. I think that's very rarely. And I tested about 8 of them, and none of them got up to 350. So they still help, but they don't help as much as if you were getting a full 350 or more.
And these little things infuse hydrogen in water. So that's the only way to deliver it is drinking water, right, from these
Well,
machines.
no, they deliver it. They're even starting in Japan. They're starting to deliver intravenous through a saline solution,
Oh,
and you can breathe it also through a cannula. And
from these little machines?
yeah, these are,
Really?
well, from the little ones. No, mine's a
Well,
big machine. Mine
well,
does about
that's
950 milliliters.
well, yeah. I was going to get to yours, but
But the
these
little
little,
ones, it's only drinking.
and it's really just everyone's getting in the craze about how powerful hydrogen is, which is true, right? But you have to get it in there. It's got to be really delivered. And your machine, what were you saying? It delivers what kind of concentration?
Mine produces at 10 amps, 950 milliliters a minute,
I see. Wow.
about
And
75 liters an hour.
and your machine, you can either take it and infuse it into water, or you can use a cannula. People see those things, that
Yeah.
go and you breathe it in. And the third way is encapsulation. Like, let's say if I had all kinds of something on my skin, right?
Right.
You could put me in a bag and put
Well,
it
there
in.
was a lady with carpal tunnel, and what they did with her, they got from a veterinarian one of those long gloves that go all the way to the tip of your shoulder, and they
Yeah.
taped it off, and they put a small hole, and they pumped her arm full of hydrogen gas inside that plastic glove. And after an hour, she had no more pain, but it only lasted for about a day. Yet because she fixed it temporarily, but she had to do it. You have to do it for about 2 to 4 weeks before you actually really heal it all the way.
Let's see. Well, how long have you been doing this? I know you now a bunch of years. Uh, has hydrogen been catching on slowly? What's going on here? With I
Well,
always
I
wonder how.
started in 2009.
Okay.
And what we did then, we didn't know anything about the medical side because that didn't come right away. I did it for pickups and cars and semis. And what we did then, we added into the gas into the air cleaner, and they were getting 35 to 50% better miles per gallon. But
Wow.
in 1996, they started putting the software in the computers, and they started messing it up. So it only worked on the mechanical ones. And so I had real good luck for the first 2, 3 years because they didn't have that software and everything. I mean, I've had a Jetta go from 42 to 66 miles a gallon. I have the Dodge Cummins 5.9 diesel engines. They go from 17 up to 27 to 29 miles per gallon. And that's even pulling a load. Semis, I've got them, they only get like, I have one from Nebraska that was getting 6.3 miles to a gallon, and putting the hydrogen on, he went up to 7.4. But in a
Well, when you're
year,
taking long trips, that can be really a lot of money.
he saved $35,000 in fuel.
Wow.
Because I
You
mean,
still
every
have
time you
that
fill
bike?
up, it's 350 gallons.
You still have those things for sale?
I have them for sale, but I don't have the customers.
No,
I
but I
used
mean, we're talking about it, so someone might contact me and say, "Hey, what about that thing for the? Is it something that
well,
a mechanic can install?"
the trouble we're coming in nowadays is that the EPA put that computer software program on. So if you have catalytic converters and you have oxygen sensors, and so what it does, the software senses the difference between the oxygen and the fuel going out your tailpipe, and you have to have a certain percentage so it burns cleaner. You have less pollution, and so when you put the hydrogen in your engine, you have no fuel going out your tailpipe. But the trouble is that the software knows it and it advances your timing and floods it and dumps the fuel out your tailpipe. So you have the
So, how about a
computer fighting
2000?
you.
I have a 2006 car. It's old cars. Is that old enough?
Well, 1995
Oh,
is the one that doesn't have an older has doesn't have the software. We call them mechanical. It's the mechanical engine. When they started going computerized, then you have to have a tuner and you have to do adjustments and stuff to get around the computer. And not everybody can do that. Matter of fact, very few people can do that. So it was just too much bother for the customer. So it kind of slowed down. But I still sell them to like farmers on their tractors and people
right,
in the forest and on generators, gen sets. If you got a gen set, it works real good. There's still a lot of engines out there, but I stopped advertising because my sales were so low that I didn't have enough profit to pay for advertising. So I just shut it all down. And so
right,
I still have an ad in the Farm Show magazine. So I still get calls from there from the farmers.
right. So that wasn't actually what was I going to talk about today, but I thought that was a really important subject for everyone to hear about. I I have a HydroStar machine, and I've now had it a couple of years. Maybe that's the reason I look like I'm 25.
You do look younger than the last time I saw you. I was
I
going to
like
ask you
that.
about that.
No, I'm feeling good, and I just am very thankful to have met you because the things that I've seen were different machines that you built the guts of. You were I guess you'd say, you have this, what I don't even know what we call it. It's an internal chamber. What do you call that piece?
I make the generator to a couple of the machines that are sold for large sums of money. I make the guts to them that make the hydrogen. They've just put all the bells and whistles around them.
And jacked up the price so they
Yeah,
become.
because I sell one for like $75, and he turns around and sells it for 2,500. So I feel that I've done a good price, but his price I feel is overinflated.
Right. So let's talk about, from what you've let me understand, your wife is into nutrition and you've been into nutrition and health for a long time, yes?
Yeah.
So you have shown me so many articles. I thought we might take advantage of your expertise in research because what you say, like you say, you're not a doctor, you don't even try to be, but you help people through the things you've learned, and you've been doing this a while. So I'd like to talk about um, different diseases and also different things in the world, and we'll take it in little bites. Maybe we can do a bunch of these. Um, Here in Hawaii, when I say diabetes and pre-diabetes, it is unbelievable how many people here seem to be in these categories, and to me that always felt like it was totally avoidable through what we eat. Recently, I heard it was a virus. I don't know the real reality, but I know that I think of diabetes as too much sugar or not able to convert something that your body needs. What do you know about it? Can you give
Well,
me a little?
actually, it's too many carbs is what it is. Because even your carbs turn into sugar almost within minutes. It is too much sugar. It's the great American diet is too many carbs and too much sugar, but it sure tastes good. It's designed to taste good. That's how they sell it.
So, some people think carbs, that's bread and pasta and potatoes and those things, but it's also vegetables, right? It can be almost anything.
But see, the vegetables have enough fibers, so when the carbs are converted to sugar, the fiber absorbs it off and it bleeds off slowly, so it doesn't affect you as sugar does.
I see.
It's the fiber.
So what is the sugar really doing? Is it clogging things, or it's not making the right chemicals for the body?
Well, see, your body can run on different things. It can run on carbs. It can run on sugars. It can even run on hydrogen. So if you do enough hydrogen, you can actually convert and run off that. So I mean, we eat too much oil and sugar, and they combine together, and your body can't break it down and burn it up, so it stores it.
And it accumulates over time and manifests in all kinds of ways, huh?
And so we're actually eating too many carbs and not enough protein. So what happens is people eat the carbs, they put the fat on, they stop moving around, then your body needs, like my body, I had a doctor did tests on me. I need about 232 grams of protein a day and 136 grams of carbs. The carbs are for my brain, the protein is for my muscles. And so everything else is just burns up the fuel. If I do it that way, I can lose weight and my muscle mass can go up and my fat can go down if I do that diet. And if I go to the gym, then I'll actually gain weight, but I'll be gaining muscle and losing the fat. But
Oh,
we don't do that normally. Normally, it's just carbs, carbs, and carbs. Very little protein. And if you don't have enough protein, your body will start consuming your muscles, and you get weaker and fatter until finally your body dies.
yeah. Wow. And seems to be, I guess it's a matter of circulation of the limbs, people losing toes and fingers and legs. That's all from the circulation cutting down through all this
But a
going
lot of
on.
that circulation cutting down is no exercise. I mean, you look at the average old person is not exercising.
Right.
I mean, if you went to the gym twice a week and even kept the same diet, you'd still get improvements. I mean, you get better.
Wow. Well, you're in West Virginia and I'm in Hawaii. We have different menus. What do you guys eat mostly? Not you, maybe. I want to say you're enlightened. You're
Well,
aware. What do
West
people
West
eat?
Virginia is heavy into the meat, and they're number one in the states for cancer because of all that meat consumption.
Well, when you say protein, I'm like, well, that's sort of in that family. How do you get protein mostly?
Well, the you got lentils, you got peas. I mean, pea protein is one of the highest proteins that they put on the market for bodybuilding. If you're going non-meat, if you're
So
going into a if you do a lot of meat and dairy and stuff, then you can buy protein drinks that have 30 grams of protein in them, but it's a lot of milk products and a lot of meat products. If you go to the vegan one or the vegetarian one, it'll have protein from lentil and peas and other different grains, and you can still get the protein that way, which is easier on your body to digest and stuff.
232 grams is
A lot.
a lot. I mean,
I don't always make it.
well,
It's sometimes I do, but not often. It's a lot of protein.
yeah, and and you're not heavy, so because
Oh, I'm
you
heavy. I'm 300 pounds.
no.
Yes.
How tall are you? 300
Six
pounds.
6'3".
Oh well.
I'm
Okay,
big boned.
big bone. I had no
My
idea.
foot size 14. Tell you how big I am.
Wow. So, how did you get into all this stuff? I mean, it's always interesting. How people end up doing what they're doing. Was this a
Well,
passion? How did it come in?
about 10 years ago, my friend sold his house, and so he moved into my house until he bought a new house. So he stayed there 2 3 weeks, and I was noticing that he was moaning and groaning all the time. And I asked him what's wrong. I said, "Oh, I broke my back when I was in college. I was the quarterback, and they hit me from two sides and broke my back in 5 places. And so every night I wake up 4 or 5 times from pain, and so I never had a straight night's sleep because of the pain. And it takes me a couple hours to get out of bed in the morning and stuff. And I said, well, let's try this hydrogen on you. So I put a garbage bag around him, taped it around under his armpits and around his waist, and pumped him full of hydrogen for about an hour and a half, and he went to sleep. And next morning, he said, that's the first night in 50 years I slept the whole night through without pain. And I said, then I thought, well, before that, I thought, yeah, they tell all these stories, but I don't believe it and stuff. So I started looking up the research on it, and they got over 10,000 researches published out there. And so I started looking for the research and stuff, and then I started compiling all the research by different diseases like diabetes, Parkinson's, MS, all the different things to find out what it said. And I found people had problems, and I look up the research, and I'd say, well, try this. And some bought a machine, some I lent it to them, and so I kind of got in it that way. And then the machines are like $2,500, so I started making them sell for $350 just because I couldn't see, you know, I mean, I could sell them for $2,500. That's a lot of profit. I mean, you have about $1,200 profit on that, but I couldn't see ripping people off like that. And most of the people I know aren't rich. I mean, they're on fixed incomes, and that's $2,500 is big money. That's a car.
Yeah, I was going to say you live in an area that I know, at least recently, seems to have been really hit by lack of jobs and lots of changes
Well,
going on
there's almost no jobs here. Just gas stations and Dairy Queen and stuff like that. The average person here is getting $900 a month on retirement. So they're pretty poor.
So, right. So, yeah. So you're helping people like crazy. I mean, I get it. That's beautiful. How did you come from West Virginia? I mean, for someone to be in West Virginia, I have a friend who moved to East Liverpool, Ohio, which I don't know the way the configuration. I think it's somewhere near West Virginia. Um,
No, I was a missionary for 13 years, and then when we came back, my wife got a job over here in Bering Springs, not Bering Springs, Silver Springs in Maryland, and so I started working as an electrician over there. And then I got into 2007. I bought a hydrogen machine for my pickup, and it worked for about 2 weeks. And then I started. It melted. It got the guy didn't quite have his design correct, and it melted. But I got 50% better miles per gallon on my pickup for about 2 weeks, and so I started playing around until I actually had one made for me in China, 5,500 of them. And I started selling those, and then when the medical research came out from Japan and China, then some of the people were selling them, and I thought, yeah, right. And so when my buddies had the back problem, I found out it worked with him, and it worked on another guy with diabetes, and another guy with Parkinson's, and another guy with Parkinson's. And so I just kept jumping from friend to friend. They're all church members that I knew, and so and then it started working, and I started branching out from their friends. And I even have an Air Force buddy that 55 years ago I was in the Air Force with him, and he's bought over 11 of them already. He's given them out to all of his friends down in Texas. He just bought another 3 of them from me. He just gives them away as party gifts.
What a nice gift.
Well, one of his friends has liver cancer, and he gave one to him. He was supposed to do the hydrogen water plus broccoli sprouts for his liver cancer, and he did 2 gallons of hydrogen water a day. And in 2 months, his liver cancer was gone, but he had cancer in the rest of his body. So, because if he'd have done the broccoli sprouts, but he refused to do them. He would do the water, but he wouldn't do the broccoli sprouts. So he's got his liver cancer gone, but he's got cancer, because you got those the cancer goes everywhere if you don't use it. But the sulforaphane that's in your broccoli sprouts, it chases the cancer down and kills the stem cells. Takes a couple of years, but it kills it off.
Wow. So, by the way, I don't know if everyone really heard that as clearly as I did. Broccoli sprouts. Now, you get them, you put them in some water, and you can do them right there in your own place. When you mentioned that to me, I started growing them, and I just had this morning. I have it with my salad. I have it with almost everything. And they're really tasty.
Well, the funny thing about broccoli sprouts, and if you look it up, you can find the research on it. They had broccoli sprouts. It has 2 precursors in it. You have to chew them up, and in 20 minutes, they become sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is proven to kill breast cancer and prostate cancer within 6 weeks.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I had at least 5 people that got totally cured from prostate cancer from it. Hydrogen and broccoli sprout, it just kills it off. I mean, I had one guy, he was up around, they do it by numbers. When you got he had 5, and his prostate was really high. He had pain sitting and stuff. Within 2 weeks, he was down to number 1.
Wow.
But the guy would never keep doing it. He would stop doing it and go back up and hurt again. About 6 times he went up and down, up and down, up and down. But they never seemed to. You're supposed to do it and keep doing it so you totally kill it off, not just get it to where it's not uncomfortable.
Or like I like to think, I'm eating them because I enjoy them, and prevention is worth a pound. What is it? That old thing of Ben Franklin. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Is that it? I think so.
There was a research in I can't remember where, but they took 25 ladies who were going in for biopsies on breast cancer, and they delivered to them every morning about the size of a golf ball, broccoli sprouts, for 2 weeks before they went for the biopsies. And they discovered that those who had lumps, the lumps had reduced 33%. And they said that if they'd have done it for a whole 6 weeks, their lumps would have probably disappeared.
Isn't that amazing? Well, I mean, I wish that kind of information was more widely known, but now all you people that are wise enough to watch our shows are going to get healthier. I
But they publish it, but nobody reads it.
I think that's the sign of our times. Wow, I really enjoy them. I mean, I can hardly imagine. I thought it was hard to do. I have never found anything easier. You just put them in water, you flip them, drain the water, morning and night, and boy, it's just fantastic. Then I don't see them in the stores. Yeah,
if you go to a Whole Foods, they sometimes have them, and I've seen them a couple times in our grocery store, but there's not that many people that buy them, so they don't stock them because
and they
if they go
probably
bad,
get bad real quick because they're a little.
yeah, they get moldy.
Yeah,
that's why you're supposed to rinse your sprouts twice a day so that they don't get moldy.
Well, and I've done it actually more. Whenever I see them, I walk over and I say, time
Yeah,
to get a new bath. And
yeah.
they're just really terrific and very easy to do.
Well, that sulforaphane is an amazing thing. It kills breast cancer, prostate cancer, and multiple myeloma cancer. They tested it in petri dishes. When they put a drop of the juice in the petri dish, all the cancer moves away, and the next day it's dead.
Wow.
So that's good preventive because they say everybody has prostate cancer. Well, all the men. They say the whole trick is don't die from it.
That's a good trick.
Die from something else.
That's right. And not soon. Right. Wow. So to me, that is like just that. Just learning that we can take broccoli sprouts and eat them, enjoy them, and all the men in the audience would probably say, "Wow, you mean I can avoid prostate cancer?"
Well, if they have prostate cancer now, if they eat broccoli sprouts the size of a golf ball once a day, they'll find their numbers going down. In 6 weeks, they'll probably be cured.
That's fantastic.
But if you stop, don't be surprised if it doesn't come back because, I mean, like a doctor can only see it when it's up to 50 million cancer cells. Then they can see it. So if they can't see it anymore, it doesn't mean you still don't have 20 million cancer cells.
Right. But if there's something that you can take that prevents that or cuts those numbers down, I don't think anybody that's hearing this should not eat broccoli sprouts. I really enjoy them. A golf ball size is actually pretty small.
Yeah.
More than that. Yeah.
Well, the broccoli sprouts have 50 times more sulforaphane in them than maybe 10 pounds of broccoli.
Wow.
They got a lot in them. They're very powerful.
That is something. What about diabetes? Anything else? Any other foods that are good to eat or things that people, because, we're doing this by diseases. I'm sure there's all kinds of articles. Where did you go looking for articles? I know there's this Green Med Info is a site, all kinds of stuff.
That's a pretty good one. I've done it so much. My computer's got cookies all over, so when I type it in, it just jumps into all the medical sites, lists them out. Like I can tell you a story. We had the treasurer in our church. He's an Indian guy, and he's had 20 years. He's had type 2 diabetes. He's been taking injections. He monitors his blood. He takes sometimes 10, 15, 20 injections a day. And when we'd have a church potluck, he would eat the food and he'd go out in the car and pass out. We wouldn't see him again until around 5 o'clock at night because he'd just go into a sugar coma. And so his wife is a twin, and so his wife and her sister were in the house and they had some medical problems and stuff. So he bought a machine for his wife. And so they were very fanatic, and all the water in the house, drinking water was all hydrogenated water and stuff. And he started drinking that, and he said, I noticed that kept checking my blood, and I didn't need a shot. And so he told me for 2 weeks now I haven't needed a shot. And so he got to where it was 6 weeks he hadn't had a shot. He said I gave myself a shot just in case I needed one. And then he stopped drinking the hydrogen, and within 10, 12 hours he needed a shot.
Wow.
So he drinks it, and he just does not do the insulin shots.
And that's a real interesting point, because when I've been around this stuff, I realized that hydrogen, one on the periodic chart, knows how to escape. It goes everywhere. So it doesn't hold does it? Doesn't hold the hydrogenated.
Well, I got into a research paper, and they tested, and they said it'll last about 8 hours, a medical dose in water. But I know if you drink a glass of hydrogenated water, within 5 minutes, it's in every cell of your body. And they call it a scavenger, which means that if you have something wrong in that cell, it'll scavenge it and take the bad stuff off, and then your body will fix that cell. Yeah. Or if it's really bad, it'll tear it down, and your body will put a new cell in there, replace the cell.
And hydrogen, which is combines with everything, I guess you'd say it's a selective antioxidant, which is, I guess, probably the only one that actually kind of goes in and it's a chemical thing. It evaluates whether there are things that are a little bit weird or not, and gets into the mitochondria of the cell. So it's
well, really, it even goes through the brain barrier, goes into the brain, because we've had people with tumors in their head, and they drank the hydrogen and shrunk the tumors.
Wow. That is exciting. I'm just always, every time I talk with you, I get so encouraged for all the people of the world. Then I realize, wait, I'm encouraged, but you got to know about this. So I'm hoping that people will contact me, and I will get to you. They can go to your website too, but if by going through us, it's going to be, you're going to get a free cookie? No free cookie. Well, we're going to give you maybe some hydrogen. We'll give you some broccoli sprouts. We'll tell you where to get them. You think for $20, you get this big bag of.
You get a pound for $20. I mean, you could make like a semi-load of sprouts out of that thing.
Oh yeah,
huge.
I haven't even made a dent on the thing, and I've been eating them a couple of weeks already.
But if they want to look up the research for themselves, they can go to molecularhydrogeninstitute.com. And they've got a couple thousand researchers. They got them all listed out. They got them on your brain.
That's that guy, Tyler LeBaron, isn't it?
Yep, that's his site. He used to be ORG, but then he couldn't make any money, and he felt he needed money, so he's got his doctorate from Japan under Dr. Oha, who's the head hydrogen researcher in the world.
Right.
He's the one that did all that research on Parkinson's.
Oh.
So he's got, he did 4 of them, and the 4th one, they took 85 men and women that were pronounced with Parkinson's by their doctors, and gave them each a liter of water for 1 year, and then sent them back to their doctors, and 50% of them were declared no longer having Parkinson's.
Wow. Wow. Are you guys hearing this? I sure hope you're hearing this. And so we started by saying those little machines that give you a glass of hydrogen water aren't at a level enough to be
at a medical dose. Medical dose is 350 milligrams, according to the Ministry of Health in Japan.
Right.
They're the ones who set all the guidelines and all of the levels, because they're the only government that's really into it besides the Chinese, and nobody believes the Chinese.
Well, isn't that funny? I mean, I guess but this is all, they do their own research afterwards. there's been so much research about this stuff. I think it's very sad that we still, you know, I don't know.
Well, there's three places in the United States that did research. Loma Linda did one, and they said, and I got a copy of it, and they said that it works on almost every disease and yada yada, but they stopped research. And then Texas A&M did it, and they had their published theory, but then they stopped. And then Boston, I don't know who it was in Boston, but a school in Boston did it. But it seemed that every time they published their research, they got a big donation and put an addition onto their colleges, and so they stopped. So you wonder where they got that money from.
Well, you know, that's a very clear point. There are people that don't particularly like the fact that this information will stop you from needing their products.
Well, yeah, you won't be eating as many pills.
Yeah.
Big money on chemicals.
Maybe you'll join me again. I'd love to have you back, and we'll choose a few diseases, and maybe we'll talk about them and talk about, you know, I like to talk about the hydrogen and the HHO. I think it's important for me because when you talk about breaking water, when we were little kids, we had an iron nail and copper wire, and we learned about electricity. But all those bubbles in the water, that was the same thing we're talking about here.
Yeah, it should be hydrogen.
Right. It's sort of like a lightning strike, right?
Well, the first time they discovered the hydrogen and started making it was about 1866. And the first car ran on hydrogen gas made in Germany. I saw it on YouTube in a museum. They even had it driving around a little bit around the showroom. Old car. That was like 1880 something.
So at that point, they were separating, and the hydrogen, which I guess by itself is pretty volatile. Maybe that's why it wasn't chosen. But then I remember Stanley Meyer, who had the car that was, they all said, no, nah, it didn't happen. But from what I understand, his car did this processing on board in the vehicle and actually use
well,
water.
There's quite a few of them, and they worked. But the trouble is it takes a lot of water because the calories or the power in the water is not as much in a gallon of water as a gallon of gasoline. It's like 1/5. So you have to have you have to have like 150 gallons of water to be the same as 20 gallons of gas.
So you got to travel near the water.
You got to carry
or
a tank.
travel near a hose.
There's on YouTube. There's a Dodge pickup, and the guy has a machine in the back of it, and he's got a tank, and he makes the hydrogen, fills the tank up, and he starts his pickup, and he drives down the road 70 miles an hour. But he drives for like 15 minutes, runs out of gas, and he sits there about 45 to fill it up again to drive another 15 minutes.
Wow, that's interesting.
But it drives like crazy down the road 70 miles an hour for 15 minutes. So, I mean, it's doable, but it's clunky. Like the reason they didn't make hydrogen machines at the beginning is that gas was 5 cents a gallon.
Right.
I mean, it was, and farmers were buying it for 3 cents a gallon. So even in 1954, Ellis Chalmer had a hydrogen add-on to an Ellis Chalmer tractor, but even then, gas was only 5 cents a gallon. It wasn't, farmers didn't want to be bothered with it for 5 cents.
I gotcha. Well, gas.
We run out of gas, and you'll see it on everybody's car.
Well,
nobody likes walking.
Who knows what I mean? If only to solve the environment. Again, I don't want to mix apples and oranges, but the environmental challenges of burning oil, you'd think that we would be racing toward these alternative solutions at record pace.
It's all about money.
Yeah, and it's about people forgetting that there's someone coming after us. I guess the Bible says these are the end times, and from what we see everyone doing, sure seems they're right on the money. They are
Well,
right on.
it's like the grocery stores. They don't sell the food because it's wholesome for us. They sell the food to make a profit. That's why they add what do they add to the Chinese food that
Oh yeah,
monosu,
MSG.
yeah, and that's just so they can sell more. That's same with your sodas with caffeine. Got to hook them so they buy more. It's not to make us healthy and live long. It's to sell something. It's just all about making money. Most of the food in the store is not healthy for you.
Right. You guys ever experience Roundup there? You've probably heard about this Monsanto thing
Oh
going on.
yeah, they spray underneath all of our power lines and stuff with it. They got it all over the place.
They're still using it?
Roundup is the same as Agent Orange, except they changed one little chemical to it to change the name. My brother got sprayed with Agent Orange. He's all messed up.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He's got MS, Parkinson's, and cancer. But the
God.
good thing is that hydrogen kills all three of them. So he's already 7 years beyond his death date.
Ah, well, that's great to hear. Well, sounds like, and if I never heard of this stuff before, I would be looking immediately. I'm hoping that all the people who are listening.
Well, I like people to do the research. I don't want to sell them a machine unless they've done the research and they know that it works and it's good for them.
All right.
And I mean, I got burnt real bad in a welding accident, and I had second and third degree burns on one whole leg. And I read it up in the research, and it says that hydrogen will cut your scarring down by 50% and add 50% faster healing. So, man, I was drinking that hydrogen like crazy, and I have no scarring. They were telling me I was in the burn center in Washington, D.C. for 5 days, and they said I'd have to have 2 operations on the scarring so I could bend my knee. And I never went back at all. I have no scarring, even some of the hair grew back. And I had second and third degree burnt all the skin off down to the muscle. And
Wow.
that is some serious pain there.
I bet.
On the
Well,
way to the burn center, they gave me 18 shots of morphine and didn't even touch the pain.
wow. 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 Well, no more testing these things. I want to stop hearing these kind of stories.
I got a lot of them.
No, but I mean, don't use yourself for any more tests like that. That was something. So, just in the stuff you've explained here, people should be listening and thinking, wow, we sure aren't informed. This stuff is something else. It's like a change in the medical community.
There's a research that says it fixes the symptoms or kills disease of 177 diseases.
Wow.
Now,
Well,
I don't know
Molecular
all of them.
Hydrogen Institute,
I
is
only
that where
know
they're going to look for the articles most? Through Tyler's site?
he's
Molecular
got a
Hydrogen.
lot of them there, and I pulled a lot off the internet. I mean, he's got a bunch that'll get him salivating out. They start reading his stuff and start looking it up. Especially the broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts mixed with hydrogen is unbelievable. Because
Yeah.
you had hydrogen with when you're doing chemo, you have 50% less symptoms, and I had some people on chemo, they didn't lose their hair at all,
Wow.
and they're not sick. You have to according to the research, you have to take the hydrogen at least 4 hours before you do your chemo injections, and after it, and as much as you can, really, and you don't get all them sick symptoms and stuff, and it actually enhances the chemo, so it's 4.5 times more productive.
Wow. Well, I'm sure everyone is out there saying, bring this guy back again.
Well, if they asked you questions, next time we can answer questions too.
Okay.
Because
Well, we'll see
they're
which time it is because I want to I want to go a little more in depth about when I hear Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. I don't really know the differences. Do you? You probably do.
yeah, Alzheimer's is just memory loss. Parkinson's is a definite disease. You get where you get the shakes and all that stuff. You have Alzheimer's, you don't get the shakes. It's
So
just dementia,
Alzheimer's is
kind of.
more like dementia,
Yeah, that's Alzheimer's. The
but
reason they call it
Parkinson's is
Alzheimer's is the German doctor who discovered it back 100 years ago or so, and he was Doctor Alzheimer's.
huh, well,
But Parkinson's, you get a lot of symptoms. You start losing your body. You start losing your nerves. You shake so much you can't feed yourself. You can't walk. You stumble. You bend over. But even if you're really bad with Parkinson's and you start taking the hydrant, you can cut your symptoms. You can stop the progress, but you can cut your symptoms. You cut them in half. So I've had one guy that he could concentrate and no longer shake when he was on hydrogen. But as soon as he stopped hydrogen, he couldn't stop shaking. He couldn't feed himself.
wow. Well, boy, I think we should put this show up and run it up the flagpole. Really important.
Well, I think we do enough shows. They should probably get the message over time.
Yeah, over time. I know. Well, thank you for taking time out of your precious schedule today.
No
I hope we
problem.
can do this again. It's always a pleasure. And all of you out there that want to know about HydroStar, you can look it up and do about it that way. But if you go through us, I'll make sure you get special treatment. And
I dropped the website because I didn't have enough customers to pay the $1,600 a year for it. So I'd have to sell, 20, 30
right,
machines because I only make $100 a machine. So it wasn't worth it.
well, but that's why we're up there. You know, it's interesting. Public access decided because I have a website and I'm promoting independent of them, they don't put me on their website. Isn't that funny? So I'm trying to spread the word about what I'm doing on public access television, and then they don't want to put it up because now it's something else. Funny, but I love doing these shows. We did a show. I did a show earlier today with a couple. They've been living in California, and he had an employee for a handful of years that really became very trusted. A gentleman from Mexico who's American citizen, but the song's called Gracias Senor, so you may look up on YouTube and find it. They're just wanting to share how valuable people from all over are to each other and take away, can you imagine you're an American citizen and someone says, "Wait, come with us," and you're suddenly in a herd and you're not getting the careful handling that we all think as Americans that we have as a natural right. But we got to definitely remember we have to protect our rights.
Well, that's like
Because,
in World War II, they arrested all the Japanese and put them in camps.
yeah. And last night I saw Cabaret, and Cabaret is all about what happened in Germany when the Jews uh, suddenly were rounded up. Even they were Germans, right? These people were Germans their whole life, but they were separated out. So just nice for us to be aware and to come from a loving place.
Just power plays.
Yeah.
It's all
Well,
about power.
well, the one thing that I'm really happy is I'm very glad I got to meet you and got to bring you into my world and the world here that we're going to get out to the world and show them that we can do it a little differently. Maybe just maybe change the world. One person, one viewer at a time.
There you go.
Andrew, thank you. I hope to see you again.
You will.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Andrew Herold, HydroStar. You can always contact me, and I will help you out and help you find the machine, everything you might need.
Send all your questions in.
Hello, everyone.